All right, you guys, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? All right, let me sit down right here. Welcome, you guys, to another Average Rob Runs video. So I thought this was an interesting video to do, and it actually has to do with these two shoes right here. Very similar to each other in a lot of ways, but I'm going to explain what the differences are between these two Saucony running shoes here in just a minute. Before we get into the video, if you guys wouldn't mind, please click that subscribe button below. Click the like button. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video. If you do, click the like button below as well. Also give this a, just give it a nice thumbs up. That would be awesome. Also, if you wouldn't mind clicking the bell somewhere below here as well, and that will help let you know of when new videos pop up on my channel. Just really helps me out so that I can do more of these videos for you guys at home. So today we're going to talk about the Saucony Endorphin Shift and the Saucony Axon right here. Now, the Saucony Endorphin Shift is a shoe that came out last year. It was part of the Endorphin lineup, kind of more of the daily trainer, long runner shoe that if your legs are beat up, this is the shoe that you want to get into. But Saucony earlier this year in 2021 came out with this shoe, which is called the Saucony Axon. Now, what made this interesting is stack heights are very similar to each other. The designs of these shoes are very similar to each other. In fact, even the offset of the shoe and the rocker design all are very similar to each other. So it made me beg the question, why is there an Endorphin Shift and why did they come out with this shoe if they're so similar to each other? And so I initially, if you guys saw the initial video, by the way, I have done 50 miles in this shoe. So I will be posting a full review video on this shoe coming up, but I just wanted to kind of do this video because I wanted to know the difference, and that's essentially why I ended up getting the Endorphin Shift, which part of the Endorphin lineup. I already have the Endorphin Speed. I also have the Endorphin Pro. I figured why not get the Endorphin Shift, use it as a daily trainer, and see how it goes. So anyways, getting into it. So specs on the Saucony Axon, just real quick specs on it. Engineered mesh upper, semi-gusseted tongue, pretty basic approach to a running shoe as far as its upper is concerned. Midsole, 31 millimeters of stack height in the forefoot, 35 in the rear for a 4 millimeter drop. It does now ASICS, Saucony does not state that this shoe has the speed roll technology, although you can clearly see just by looking at its design, its rocker design, it's there, okay? And even shares a lot of the same outsole features that you get on the Endorphin Shift, as well as the Endorphin Speed and the Endorphin Pro, where you see it's got the kind of the guide marks right here on the forefoot area. So some of the things about this, it does have a full rubber in the front. Then you get these two kind of rubberized stability pods, I guess you could say, on the sides right here. And then you got these two high abrasion rubber pods here in the rear of the foot. So that's kind of the basics of this shoe. The weight is going to vary, so I just kind of stay away from that. Power Run midsole material that is being used in this shoe right here. And the cost of the shoe is $100 US. So that is the Saucony Axon, new for 2021. So here is the Saucony Endorphin Shift, and as you can see, even looks very similar. I got obviously the Mutant design because it goes with my Endorphin Speed and the Endorphin Pros that I have. So I got the same design, so they look very similar to each other. But yeah, the aesthetics of it looks very similar to each other. The even some of the specs on the other parts of the shoe. So this is a dual layer or a sandwich mesh upper, so it is very breathable. Semi-gusseted tongue Even the gussets on the inside are exactly the same as on the Axon. It has a nice padded collar to it. Now this one I would say is a little bit more of a stability shoe compared to the Axon, because it's got this really hard TPU heel clip back here. So I will say that this does have a little bit more stability than the Saucony Axon, but let me also say this, the Saucony Axon also has a wider toe box. This is a little bit more snug toe box. It's not tight, just slightly snug. And I like it that way, to be honest, because it makes me feel like my foot's not really moving around. It's just enough toe space so you can still kind of keep your toes nice and comfortable, but it's definitely not like this. This has a pretty wide toe box to it. This one actually feels a little bit more snug, and I actually kind of like that a little bit better. Midsole, Power Run midsole, 34 millimeters in the forefoot, 38 millimeters in the rear, so only a 3 millimeter difference. Still has that 4 millimeter offset from heel to toe. And then going to the bottom of the shoe, we actually have a little bit of their high abrasion, I think it's T900 or something like that, rubber on the outsole, but a lot of exposed midsole foam material here underneath. And of course you still have the guidelines here in the forefoot, speed roll technology, as you can see right there with that nice rocker in the forefoot. And then here on the medial post right here on the medial side, you've got a little bit harder rubber right here, and that's Saucony does a really good job about making it a different color in that area to kind of ensure this is the area of support that they're giving to. So it kind of makes it so the shoe doesn't, you know, if you pronate, it tries to keep you straight, as well as this little bit of TPU that actually extends down into the midsole foam right here. That also helps kind of create in that heel area as you land, it straightens up your foot so you can roll forward. So it's a little bit more of a stability shoe than the Saucony Axon is, so that's something that was different between the two shoes, but otherwise very similar. But the feel, entirely different, okay? Both are using Power Run midsole, but here's where things get interesting between the two shoes. Now, and again, before I get into it, please click that like and subscribe button. Just, again, really helps the channel. I do appreciate it. Breathable upper, all that kind of stuff. It also has, just have to point this out, I actually kind of like the pull tabs. It's just me. I like the pull tabs. Here's where the difference is. Okay, this uses Power Run midsole, but let me go to the Axon first. And it actually has to do with not this. This and the insole that's on the Axon and the one that is on the Endorphin Shift. Okay, so here's the Endorphin Shift, here's the Axon. If you actually look underneath, they're exactly the same. Exact same thicknesses, everything. They are exactly the same. So it's not the insole of the shoe or the sock liner of the shoe that is the differences between the two of them, but I'll show you here in a second. So the Saucony Axon, the base board, I guess you could say, inside the shoe it's really hard. Okay, that's a hard I don't know if you can hear it, but it's really hard in there. Okay, and that's typical for a lot of shoes where they put that that kind of what do they call it? Basically it's like a board material or something, fiberglass type of material, kind of as the base of the shoe, and it's usually pretty stiff and pretty hard. Okay, so that is something that I noticed, and here's what separates the Axon from the Endorphin Shift. The Endorphin Shift has on the inside of it, it's a nice soft spongy material, almost like Boost on the inside of your shoe underneath the sock liner. That right there is Power Run Plus. It's the same material that they use on the Saucony Triumph 17, 18, 19. They use it on, I think, the Hurricane 22s, so on and so forth. That's Power Run Plus midsole material that they use underneath the sock liner on the Endorphin Shift. So even though these two shoes, they run very similar to each other, the way they feel, the way they glide through their strides. By the way, I've done 3 runs in this shoe, not a whole lot of miles, but I've done 3 runs in this shoe to get a feel for what is the difference between these two shoes, and I could feel it immediately between these two shoes, the differences between them. Let me put the sock liner back in here. So as I was stating about the shoes and how they feel underneath your foot as you're rolling through your stride, my opinion, the Endorphin Shift is definitely a softer landing shoe. It is a cruiser, long miles, nice and comfortable. That Power Run Plus that's on the inside of the shoe actually does give you just a little bit of bounce, but this shoe definitely is a cruiser shoe. It absorbs the impacts really well, and that Power Run midsole material here, although it's a little firm, and I even said that in my Saucony Axon video, that the Power Run midsole is a little bit more on the firmer side, so it's a little bit more on the responsive side than it is on the soft side. So for all that stack height, you would expect a nice soft cushiony ride. No, not at all. It's a little bit more responsive. But that being said, between these two shoes, which one is the softer shoe? Definitely the Endorphin Shift, okay? And I think in my initial video on the Saucony Axon, I said I wasn't sure why the Endorphin Shift even still exists, or if they're coming out with an Endorphin Shift 2, because of this shoe, because of the Saucony Axon. And now that I actually have the Endorphin Shift in my possession, I did this for the purpose of comparing the two shoes. Now I know why. So the $40 difference between the Axon, which is $100, the Endorphin Shift, which is $140, I can tell you why there is a $40 difference. So I want to break that down just real quick as I'm putting this back together. There we go. All right, there we go. All right, so the upper material on the Endorphin Shift is a better, more breathable upper material. Now that's not saying that this isn't bad, or that this is bad. It's still really good. It's super breathable, it's super comfortable, but if you're looking at the quality of the material, I would definitely say that this has a better quality material than the Axon does. Even when it comes to the padding around the heel collar, about the same. There's a little bit more padding on the tongue in the Endorphin Shift, at least towards the top of it, than on the Saucony Axon, which is like a really thin kind of tongue, where the Endorphin Shift has a nice thick tongue to it. All right, flip that around. There you go. All right. So you can see the Endorphin Shift has a little bit thicker tongue, so if you're looking for a little bit padding, Endorphin Shift is better. The Endorphin Shift, also with that TPU back heel plate to it, or heel clip to it, definitely provides just a little bit better lockdown, but also a little bit more stability. So for those longer runs, this is probably what you'd want to go with, to give you a little bit extra stability in the shoe, having this kind of dip down into the midsole, having a little bit firmer rubber right here to give you a little bit extra medial support. All those things, just a little bit more engineering in this shoe, and then also to add that Power Run Plus underneath that sock liner just makes the ride just a little bit smoother, a little bit softer, a little bit bouncier than what you get with the Saucony Axon. So for $40 more, in fact, you can get this, the original one like this, you can get this one on sale right now, but if you're looking at getting the brand new one, the Endorphin Shift 2, it's $140. Some of you are trying to figure out, well, if the Axon is very similar, why would I get the Endorphin Shift over the Axon? I can tell you why. The engineering that is in this shoe is definitely better. Not only the upper material is better, the stability is better, but really what it comes down to, in my opinion, is the comfort on the inside of the shoe. This has a little bit of that Power Run Plus underneath the sock liner, and it really does make a huge difference in the way this shoe rides, because the firmness of the midsole material is very similar to each other. If I do a durometer test, they're almost exactly identical to each other, but it's just what's underneath that sock liner just makes a huge difference on this particular shoe. So that's what I wanted to kind of get you guys. If you wanted to know the difference between the Saucony Axon and the Endorphin Shift, that's why I did this video, was to let you guys know. If you have any questions about the two shoes, please leave them in the comment section below. I will answer them as quickly and efficiently as possible for you guys. And again, if you like this video, if you found this video informative, which I think you will as a consumer, it's part of the reason why I did this video. If as a consumer, if you found this informative, please click that like and subscribe button. It really, really does help me be able to do more videos like this for you. So yeah, if you guys, please, by all means, subscribe. It's awesome. If I had to go and pick between these two shoes again, I mean, I will say for $100 this is a solid shoe, but for the $40 more, I'll say that this is worth the $40 more. You know, I'll say that if Saucony dropped this down to $130, I'd be screaming that this shouldn't even exist. Just go for this. But for the $40 more, I still think this is worth it. But if you're looking for a good budget daily trainer that can also do long distances and is surprisingly pretty snappy, Saucony Axon is still a good way to go. So thank you guys again for watching, and as always, guys, enjoy the run. See ya.